You're the one with a fucking problem. Instead of just letting people score it, they want to score it. You want to dictate the scores. F you. This is why I don't want to do the podcast with you. You suck.
All right, so Dylan, are we friends again?
You're a dumpster fire, but yeah.
Welcome to Hey, did you ever see that movie? I'm your host, Des, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Dylan.
Oh, no, you can't build a treehouse with a tampon, Brad.
And joining us again, the podcaster with a fully packed bong, Pat.
Did Brad just die?
This week, we will be discussing the comedy Daddy's Home. This movie was directed by Sean Andrews and written by Brian Burns. It stars Mark Wahlberg, Will Ferrell, and Linda Cardinelli. As always, this podcast will contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen it... What's so funny?
Cardellini!
Oh, okay. Go watch it, then come back and listen to the podcast. And now... it's time for another installment of Disaster Pizza. So sit back and enjoy the show. Welcome to Disaster Piece Theatre, where me and my two co-hosts will act out one scene from the movie that we are reviewing for you this evening. So please, sit back, grab some popcorn, and enjoy the show.
Quiet on the set!
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Hey, Dusty, can you move this thing? I can't get my car out of the garage.
Hey, Brad, do you mind? I was gonna grab a quick shower.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Hey, yeah, I'm blocked in.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm on top of it.
What are you doing? Brad, I don't think... Hey, kids, stay away from that, please. Honey, what are you doing?
I don't think that's a good idea, Brad.
It's
Hey.
vibrating up into my shoulders.
Hey, that's okay, Brad. Listen, you're not a biker.
No, I'm good. Why don't you go back and take that shower so you can put a shirt on?
Hey, you look good on that, man. Just remember, one down, four up, all right?
Yeah, everyone knows one down, four up! Look out! Look out!
Did Brad just die?
Well, I think we all need to prepare ourselves for that possibility, okay, Pumpkin?
Cut! Cut! Cut!
All right. And now it is time for Dez's 4 and 1 fun and 1 fake fact, where it will be up to my two co-hosts to figure out which fact is total bullshit. What the fuck is that? Didn't we just have a meeting about little crinkly bags and shit? What was that? Who was it? Who was it?
Sounds
Have my
like-
camera on.
I'm gonna guess
Okay.
It was Dylan,
Okay.
and I'm guessing candy wrapper.
Okay,
Candy
so
wrapper.
Dylan called...
Paper.
So,
Use paper. I'm
For
sorry.
the listeners, Dylan called us into the office this morning before the
Called
show
us into
and
the
read us all the
office.
riot act. We had to go through proper mic etiquette, her past experiences with podcasts and what drives listeners away. And that's what we're going to get 5 minutes into the podcast. Okay. So here we go. Fun fact number 1. The Indian Chief Classic has a 6-speed transmission, not 5, as referenced in the movie. 1 down and 4 up is not the proper gearing. Number 2, Vince Vaughn was originally cast in the role of Dusty Mayron. Number 3, Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg are both left-handed. Number 4, The Rock was originally cast as Dusty's wife's ex-husband, Raja. And number 5, Will Ferrell was originally set to play Dusty Mayron, with Ed Helms set to play Brad Whitaker. Pat, you have quite a streak going. Can you keep it going, or do I finally take down the giant? Which one is fake?
I'm thinking you might get this one because
Oh, good.
there was very little. Like when we did Fifth Element, there was a ton of research you could read through, a ton of it.
Yes.
And for this, there was like a fraction of that. I'm like, this is like barely any meat in this. So,
Pat, will you please answer the question? Which answer is fake?
I'm going to go with one.
Okay. And Dylan, which one do you think is fake?
I think number 5 is fake.
Okay, I finally have stumped the panel on a Pat week. The fake one is actually The Rock. He was not ever going to be cast as Roger. Okay.
So wait a second. Somebody at some point thought it was a good idea to cast Will Ferrell as Dusty Mayron. Are you kidding me?
I know it's
What?
absolutely ridiculous, but yes, that is the truth.
No, that makes no sense.
No, not
And I
at
don't
all.
even know who's the other actor that was going to play.
He's like an old
Brad
guy
Whitaker.
that's bald.
Ed
Helms is an old guy that's bald, I think.
See, now that's
What
this
would
is what
I
I'm
have seen
talking
him in?
about. This is what I'm
Oh
talking
no,
about with
I'm
research.
sorry. I take it back. Ed Helms is the guy on The Office from The Hangover.
Oh, oh,
Yeah, the guy
wow.
with the who
Yeah.
loses his tooth in The Hangover.
Oh shit! Yeah, I'm trying to imagine that movie now with Will Ferrell as Dusty. No, I don't
No.
like that movie.
I don't either.
Okay. Dylan, will you please give us the synopsis for this gem of a comedy?
Sure. So I just scrolled right past it. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm really on it today. So
Back it
Brad
up,
Whitaker
back
Do we
is
it
need
up.
to have
trying to get
another
his
meeting?
Yeah, we have to have another meeting. Call me on the carpet. Brad Whitaker is trying to get his stepchildren to love him and call him dad, but his plans turn upside down when their biological father, Dusty Mayron, returns. Boom.
Well,
there
that's
it
stripped
is.
way down. Okay.
So I have a whole
Dylan,
screen. Sorry. Yeah.
Dylan, had you ever seen this movie before preparing for the podcast?
Yes, several times.
Okay, Pat, had you ever seen the movie before preparing for the podcast?
I had
And the
not.
podcast?
Oh, you just couldn't let it go, could you?
Absolutely
And
not.
I missed it completely.
Okay.
Podcast.
It's a podcast.
Nice.
Okay. No, you had never
Everyone
seen
pack a bowl.
it. Okay. And Pat, this is not your kind of movie. So I almost picked it just to bust your balls because I love busting your balls, and I think it backfired on me, but we're gonna find out.
Yeah, it did.
Dylan, okay, let's get into the movie.
Okay, snap to it. All right.
Just
Dylan.
another
Just for
nice
the record,
t-shirt.
And just for the record, I have seen this movie literally 100,000 times. Okay.
No. Say it isn't so.
Oh, it's
Brad Whitaker. We're really
Okay.
off the rails today.
Oh
All
my
right,
God, does that thing actually smoke too?
Yes, it does.
Oh, geez.
Yes, it does. So for the
Yeah.
listeners at home, this is
You were such a child.
yes, this is a dirt bike that I have, and when you twist the throttle, it makes noise, and the exhaust comes out because it's basically like a vapor cigarette, and the smoke comes out the tailpipe. So it's pretty fucking awesome.
Moving on.
Shall we?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Brad.
For the listeners, also, I used to race motocross in my younger days. Yes.
Glory days. Well, they'll pass you by. Glory days. Okay, we're gonna have to cut all this. Anyways, let's
No, we're not
start.
cutting
No,
any
gotta
of
keep it
It's
in.
fine.
Keep
Yeah,
it
it's
in.
fine.
We're gonna cut this crap out. Okay.
No, no.
That's what she said. That's what she said.
Oh, wow.
And I
Keep
mean
it
it
in.
this time.
Keep it in. Okay.
I said no, and I mean it.
Oh, you just couldn't yet. Let's just do this.
Okay.
Another
We
podcast
keep
to do.
trying, but somebody keeps sabotaging it.
Schedule to
Brad
keep.
Whitaker. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's it. I'm muting you. You're done.
Thank you.
Thank you. Brad Whitaker, played by Will Ferrell, is married to Sarah, played by Linda Cardellini, and is stepdad to her 2 kids, Dylan, played by Owen Vaccaro, and Megan, played by Scarlett Estevez. Brad is unfortunately unable to produce children of his own due to an incident at the dentist where his junk was exposed to x-rays. Despite his best intentions and hardest attempts, the kids really don't like Brad. Still, his biggest hope is for them to see him as an acceptable father figure eventually. Over time, the kids warm up to Brad. Dylan even confides to Brad that he's being picked on at school by some 4th graders. Brad gets excited since he feels he's building trust between him and Dylan. Megan also invites Brad to the daddy-daughter dance, which makes Brad so happy that he cries. So, Des, tell us all about how crying is good for you.
Yeah, so if you've been listening to the show, you know that I cry very easily, specifically in a nice rom-com. Glenn and I were in the living room not just a couple of days ago when I was watching, what movie was it?
That one with the girl from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Yes.
The redhead that's also on The Office. She dated
What a
Ed
lovely
Helms, as a
movie.
matter of fact.
What a lovely movie. I cried at the end. It was very nice. Pat, do you have to go back into the office? So it was click, click, drink of water, gulp, bottle down.
Wow. You heard all of that.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
You know what? Both of you,
so-
step into my office because you're fucking fired.
Okay.
I could totally burn this
So-
place down.
I love this. I love this opening scene. We're introduced to Brad here, and he's a nice guy, and he just wants these kids to like him. And it's funny because I usually don't like children in movies; they just don't work for me. But these 2 kids are great, and the little girl specifically is very funny. She's drawn another picture. He's got homeless man poop on his head and a fucking knife in the side of his head. And he's excited because this is the first picture that she's drawn where he's not already dead. She asks him to the daddy's dance and he cries. And I love Will Ferrell in this. He's so good. These are emotional tears he's letting out, and she's calling him a bitch. And it's just great. I love it. Great opening scene.
Yeah, honestly, this little girl kills it. Like, again, I agree. I'm not normally one for kids in movies. Usually they annoy me. But she nails it. She's so great. It's later, but when she screams at him, I fucking hate you. It's like over the dog.
With the dog.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I hate you.
Yeah. I don't hate
And
you
then she's like,
anymore.
I don't hate you anymore.
You know what it is
God.
about her that
Don't kill
got
our
me?
dog.
Her Cindy Brady lisp. That
Right.
Yeah.
that made her so adorable. Absolutely
Yeah.
adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Never mind
absolutely.
the
The little kid was
ear-piercing
good, too.
scream she produced when she saw the pony.
So good. Oh God, it's a pony, Dusty. It's a pony. So good. Oh shit.
Oh man.
Pat, what'd you think of the opening scene?
I thought it was very creative. Will Ferrell does a great job of being like a professional wuss dad. There was nothing manly about him in the entire opening scene. I loved how he was so happy to already not be dead, and
Oh, so good.
thinking that it was a hat. Nope, it's homeless man poop.
Yeah, and the mother says, you could find the good in just about anything. And he could. And that's what I love about his character in this movie is he's just so optimistic and it's just good. It's just good.
Pat,
Just
some paper
good.
Pat,
rustle.
you're not a Will and Pat, you're not a Will Ferrell fan coming into this, correct?
I've seen him in a few movies, but I don't seek them out. So a lot of movies he's been in, I haven't seen. So obviously I hadn't seen this one either.
Yeah. Yeah, Land of the Lost is another one I'd like to get to. I think he's fairly funny in that.
I
All
think
right,
I
so
may
Lynn?
have seen pieces of it, but I do know your favorite line.
Oh yeah, when he
The
goes
sweet,
into the
sweet chunk
chaka
of
meat and how Bobby Flay would cook them. Little cumin, rosemary. I bet
That
that
chaka
chaka
meat
meat
just
would
falls
just fall
off
off
the
the bone. Oh, so good.
We've all heard that line a million times from you. I don't know why. It's just one of those things that why
No.
does eating chukka come up that
No.
often? But it does.
Because he's right next to him. If we run out of food, we will eat chaka. Okay.
I should probably check that movie out too.
Oh
Fucking
my
funny.
goodness. All right. So the family is watching A Princess Bride, a classic, when the phone rings. Dylan answers and becomes ecstatic to hear his biological dad, Dusty, played by Mark Wahlberg. Megan runs to grab the phone too. They pass the phone to Brad, who agrees to pick up Dusty from the airport the next day. Sarah gets worried since Dusty is just showing up out of the blue, but Brad is confident that he can handle him. Brad goes to pick up Dusty at the airport and is stunned to see a much more handsome and cooler looking guy descending the escalator. Brad approaches the man and asks if he's Dusty, but he says no. When Brad gets home, he sees a motorcycle parked outside. Dusty is already in there playing with the kids. He formally meets Brad and comes off as friendly. Later, when Dusty tucks the kids into bed, he's obviously trying to look better than Brad by giving the kids $20. The men go outside and share a beer, and they drop the nice act to say what they're really thinking. Brad asks Dusty why he's there, and he says he wants to be a good father figure now that Sarah has remarried, but he promises to let the kids accept Brad as their new dad. So, Pat, yes or no? Best use of AC/DC's Thunderstruck ever?
Oh, absolutely.
Ever.
Yeah, no question. No question. And the way he dismisses Brad when he's asked his name, if you Dusty? Nope. And he just keeps on walking. Brad is just beside himself with not knowing what to do. Because
Love it.
it's gotta be Brad. I think I know why you thought I would not like this movie. One, it is a comedy, and that's not my bag. I watch them, I enjoy them, but I don't go looking for them. But you thought, if I remember right when we were talking about this before at work, you thought I wasn't going to like it because Dusty was arrogant and obnoxious. And I obviously don't like characters like that. But honestly, I thought he was just so confident about everything he did. Everything went his way all the time. I thought it was hysterical.
So many great scenes in this opening bit you just read off. I mean, starting with the phone call. Oh, your ex-husband's calling. What a treat for the children. And he gets on the phone with them and what fighting styles am I efficient in? Well, nobody's ever asked me that before.
I don't think I'm comfortable giving you my social security number.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm comfortable.
My credit score is 752. I'm kind of proud of it.
Yeah, this phone call is fucking great. And for the listeners, I'm actually proficient in Taekwondo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and boxing. So, as you all know, I do train at a mixed martial arts gym, and I'm pretty badass. I'm a bit of a Dusty Mayron myself, if I don't say so.
Not with that haircut, you're not.
Oh, fuck you.
And the other night he was crying like a pussy.
I made Delin tap with an arm bar in the living room just the other day.
Oh, that's a gigantic accomplishment. Your wife that's not trained in any sort of fighting style, you were able to get down on the ground and make her tap by twisting her arm when she uses her hands and arms for work. Yeah, good idea.
He's such a tough guy.
Okay.
So impressive.
So I love when he gets back to the house, Brad, and he says to the wife, he's inside. Yeah, he's giving them. What did she say? He's giving them Starburst. Starburst. Jesus Christ, he's so fucking pissed. He goes in, and Dusty's giving the kids Starburst and uncirculated silver coins. It's so good. It's so good. And, when he comes down off the escalator at the airport and, the driver standing next to Brad, he smiles and, this is some really good stuff. I'm laughing out loud through all of this. It's fucking great. Yes. Dusty comes in and there's a great shot here. So when they're in the living room and, Dusty gets up to shake Brad's hand, he starts coming in and you'll see the camera kind of gets into Will Ferrell's face and Will Ferrell starts backing up a little bit. It's really good. It's really good. I loved it. I loved all this. The storytelling, fucking, it's so clever. Fucking Dusty is in there telling the children a fairy tale, but it's really about Brad and him. Yeah. And it's so good.
The king and
every time he does this, and every time he does this, and Brad will peek his head in and go, Oh, it sounds like your father's weaving quite a tale in there. It's just, this is really good stuff. Really good stuff.
The constant put downs and the trading jabs back and forth between the king and the step king.
Oh yeah. And
It's
and the way they set it up too, you're gonna get these stories. Then finally, during the last bedtime story, Brad has had enough and he swears in front of the children. And it's just so good. It's so good.
Brad said a bad word. Brad said a bad word.
Yeah.
kids, I'm sorry I
I'd
had
like
to
to
hear
stay.
that.
Yeah, I'd like to stay all night, but I think we should follow Brad's rules, as arbitrary as they are. It just never stops.
He did everything he could to undermine Brad the moment he stepped in that door. Everything.
So good. Yeah.
And and never mind the fact that he's already got the kids who adore him. And
Yeah.
and his stepdaughter is showing pictures of him being dead. So right off the bat, as soon as Dusty walks in the door, Brad is screwed. Basically, he's just screwed.
Oh, so good. So good. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So despite his promise the night before, Dusty starts the next morning strong, getting the kids a mangy dog he calls Tumor because he grows on you. And of course, that dog does not like Brad. He also makes the family cinnamon rolls that Brad is sure is Cinnabon, though Dusty insists that he baked them. I love that whole scene.
Fucking great. Love it.
So Brad is asked to move Dusty's motorcycle from the driveway so Sarah can get her car out. Brad lied about knowing how to ride, so when he tries to drive it out, he rides hard into the house, nearly hitting Sarah and the kids. I'm laughing just reading it. It's so stupid.
It's so good.
The motorcycle shoots out the side of the house and lands on Brad's Ford Flex, while Brad is stuck in the wall. And of course, to get Brad out of the wall, Dusty punches the wall. It's so stupid. So Des, I've seen this scene with Brad flying through the yard and up the stairs so many times, and even just reading it, it makes me laugh every single time. It's classic. It's a classic.
It's so good. And the way the fucking bike comes out the window and then crushes Brad's fucking SUV and rolls to a slow stop without a scratch on it. So the Cinnabon thing, again, the director is so good at setting up jokes. So the Cinnabon thing, it's so good. Fucking Brad knows it's bullshit. Dusty's, keeps deflecting his accusations with, you're embarrassing me, but I do appreciate it, and it's coming off so good. And then later we're going to see that Brad has been at work contacting the Cinnabon company, asking them if it's possible to make a Cinnabon without a specialty oven. And he's got the website up on his computer. It's so fucking good. It's great.
Come on, Brad. You can't make rolls like this with a commercial oven.
So good. And then again, thank you, Pat. It pays off a third time in like one of the final acts. So they're so good at setting up jokes and then paying them off over and over and over.
The callback.
One of my favorites. Yeah, callbacks are just, they're magical.
The callback
in this
was
movie.
played brilliantly in this movie, all throughout it, and multiple times.
Again, the little girl has great comedic timing for a small child. Her timing is perfect. There's a scene after the motorcycle crushes the car. They're driving the children to school and the roof is caved in and it's in the kid's way. And the little kid keeps pushing it up and it keeps popping down. And I'm fucking laughing out loud. It's perfect. It's absolutely
very,
perfect.
very funny.
Yeah, and Brad says to, Dusty, I'm sorry about your bike. And Dusty says, no, not even a scratch.
Not a scratch on
And
it.
Brad's like, not a scratch? Like, he's so disappointed.
The funniest thing, seeing that scene for the first time, as soon as he hit the wheelie, you knew it was all going to hell. But as silly as it may sound, the entire scene reminded me of any scene from Home Improvement where Tim Allen would be driving something he shouldn't be, using something he shouldn't be, and destroying entire sets in the process. That's what I saw when that motorcycle came flying out of the house. And again, with what's her name? Scarlett Estevez. Played Megan.
Girl.
Her timing was perfect. Did Brad just die?
Oh, so good. So
I
good.
was like, oh my God, did she just say that?
And Mark Wahlberg. I think we have to prepare ourselves for that possibility, Pumpkin. So good. He's hoping. He's
and
hoping.
the woman that played his wife, I have to throw this in because anytime I see a face I recognize from somewhere else that gets at it. I'd never seen her in any other movie, but as soon as I saw her face, I'm like, she was in an episode of Person of Interest. And
Of course she was.
Yeah, she was.
Everyone
I saw the
has.
face, and I saw the face. I'm like, I remember she played a doctor whose sister committed suicide because she was raped, and it could never be proven. And the sister went on a revenge trip to get the bastard that did it, because apparently it wasn't the first time. And she was a doctor, mind you. Yes, I know. How interesting. This was specifically for you, Des.
She's also got a main role in Grandma's Boy, which is where I love her from.
Me too. That's where I recognized her from. Another movie that we're eventually gonna have to do. It's very funny.
Yeah, we'll have to get that one.
Keep rolling.
It's such a stoner movie. I love it, Pat. All right. So Brad takes Dusty to his job at the radio station, where Dusty meets Mr. Brad's boss. Yeah, meets Brad's boss, Mr. Holt, played by Thomas Hayden Church.
Mr. Thomas Hayden Church. Oh,
love him.
I love him.
Love this guy.
And he's great in this role.
And for anybody who doesn't know, he co-stars in a movie called Sideways, where he is fucking glorious. Glorious. Go.
It's the voice.
Sideways.
No matter what they dress him up and how they dress him up, it's that voice that it's like Kenny Rogers in singing. It's a voice you can pick out and you go, oh, I know that voice.
Oh, absolutely.
He was so good.
So the two quickly hit it off, much to Brad's dismay, and Dusty even scores a gig as the voice of their radio station tagline, earning him residual paychecks. Sarah later calls a handyman named Griff, played by Hannibal Buress, to fix the damage to the house. Dusty tells Brad to fire him since they can fix it themselves because they're men. Brad fires Griff, who assumes Brad saw that he was black and fired him because of that. Dusty tells Brad to get his toolbox so they can get to work, and when he does, it's got a hammer, a few nails, and a tampon in it. Dusty says that Brad shouldn't have fired Griff. Then we get a montage of all the nice dad stuff that Brad's been doing for these kids. So Pat, the amount of sabotage that Dusty is doing is all the funnier because Brad just seems completely unable. Like, he walks into it every single time. Like,
oh yeah,
instead of just being like, no, this is a dude that knows what he's doing. He's got all the tools. I'm just gonna let him do it. He's like, no, you're fired. It's like, and Dusty's sabotaging him left and right.
This is where Dusty's confidence is just like a cloak of invulnerability. Did I say that mumbled out?
Yes, you did. It's okay.
Okay. Invulnerable. Yeah, whatever. Let's get past this. It's too early.
Invulnerability?
Yes. That one.
Okay.
He wears it so well. I mean, he convinces Brad that they don't need Griff. Haven't even seen what needs to be done. Don't even know what Griff looks like, but he's going to fire Griff. We can handle this ourselves.
But this is Brad's fault. He knows about the tackle box and the credenza. Brad knows he's not equipped to rebuild that fucking upstairs.
But
we're talking about drywall damage. We're talking about the tire prints up the wall. I mean, there's a lot of damage. Not to mention going out the window. Like, you can't fix that.
At the radio station, this is one of my favorite. It's not one of my favorite because the whole movie's my favorite, but I fucking love this scene. So, Brad is meeting, Dusty is meeting Brad's boss, and I love that Brad says, "Fast friends." Like, he sees that they're just becoming friends. So did you get the shitbag ex-husband? And he's sitting right there, and Dusty is so slick. He immediately identifies the military pin on Brad's boss's lapel.
101st Airborne.
That's right. And he goes right for it, and immediately wins him over. And Jesus, man, if this fucking scene with the singing isn't one of the best. When Dusty leans back on the board, and you'll notice he twists a couple of knobs, right, on the soundboard. So he's actually setting up the music to sing this. Like, so we're just seeing there's nothing this guy can't do. And it's very subtle, but if you watch the movie, you'll notice he is setting the board up while barely looking. And then he fucking busts out this fucking panda call. Oh, you'll notice the people in the office behind him outside the window all turn and look.
Everybody.
Everybody. The sound engineer,
Everybody.
the guy, the other singer that just sang, everybody. And I love it. The boss. What just happened here? And Brad's trying to underplay it. Dusty just sang the tagline. Oh,
So my
so
question
fucking
is,
good.
did Mark Wahlberg actually sing that?
I can't
did,
tell if
didn't he?
it's his voice or not.
But he
Why are
was in a boy band.
Dude, don't make me fire you from the show, okay? That wasn't Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg can't sing at all. That was like fucking Billy Ocean or something. That was like
I
the most
know.
amazing jazz singer ever. Was that Mark Wahlberg? Oh, God. Everybody write in and just say, fuck you, Pat, you're dumb. Please. I want to see those comments. Please write in. And I'm going to
There's
read
a
them on the air,
reason we
every
do
single
this
one.
late in the day. That way I've had the time for the high to wear off. So bite me.
Dude, motherfucker just asked if that was Mark Wahlberg singing, everyone. You just asked if that was Mark Wahlberg singing. Okay.
You said it was
keep
Billy
going.
Ocean.
Sing it, Billy Ocean.
Singing Billy Ocean. Okay. Keep rolling. Why? What's wrong with Billy Ocean? What's wrong with Billy Ocean?
Nothing's wrong with
What's wrong with
Ocean.
Billy?
Nothing's wrong
That
with
sounds like Billy Ocean.
Just
That
goes to
sounds
show
like
how
Billy
old
Ocean
you
to
are.
me. That sounds like
Shows how old you are. That's good.
I'm not that old. Not that old.
Okay. All right. The next
Yes,
week
you
when
are.
Brad comes home from work, there's a flurry of activity in the backyard. Dusty brought Griff back to the house, making himself look good once again.
So good.
While they're at it, they also built a legit treehouse in the backyard instead of the like 3 boards attached to the tree that Dusty
That they've been
Brad
working on
had.
for 3 months. That they've been working on for 3 months.
There was 3
Bonding
boards
project.
attached to a tree. So Dusty shows off skating on the half pipe, and Brad, not wanting to be outdone, pulls out his old skateboard and attempts to do some moves, only to fly into the electrical wires and get electrocuted. Dusty avoids getting help from
Dude,
911 for as long as possible before he does CPR to save him.
Oh
Go
my
ahead,
God,
honey.
dude, they've got a Red Bull booth set up in the backyard. A
Kids.
DJ.
Kids are drinking Red
God.
Bull by the gallon.
What kills me here is that Brad is obviously a kick-ass skateboarder. Like, I wish he had just toned it down a little bit and fucking gone out there and fucking laid down an incredible run. But he doesn't. He has to go over the top. And that's actually Tony Hawk that's doing the stunts for Will Ferrell in this.
Yeah, I
And,
saw that in the research
Tony-
I did as well.
Yeah, and he actually injured himself pretty good during the shooting. He cut himself, I believe. Something like that. Anyway. Fun fact, I'm terrible on a skateboard.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of you on the half pipe as you're eating it.
Okay.
Okay.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, that's true. But I do okay on a freestyle BMX bike. I actually have a very, very nice S&M custom freestyle bike. It's loaded. It's pretty sweet. Yeah. I
Yeah,
went
the
down
amount
pretty
of
hard on
times that
that
you
on
went
a
over
quarter
the-
pipe. I actually have a video of me going down on a pretty big quarter pipe where I catch the back tire coming back in, and I broke some ribs. And Pat, you'll remember I was unable to work for a little while.
I do remember.
You recall the freestyle accident? Yeah,
I do
So,
remember hearing about
I like
it.
extreme things, but I get hurt a lot. In the MMA thing, like I was telling you guys earlier, I actually broke my ribs at least 2 times in about 3 months. Remember that? When I was coming to work, making you guys feel my fucked up rib. I get hurt
Yeah,
a
I don't
lot.
think I
Okay.
touched your fucked up rib.
Yeah, you're
Pretty
a
sure I
little
didn't.
fragile icicle. You need to stop doing stuff like extreme sports.
No.
It's not for you.
I'm not fragile.
Not
I'm
for
not
you.
fragile. I just do
Oh,
kick
you're
ass shit.
fragile. You're
getting
fragile.
too
I'm
old
not
for this
fragile.
shit.
Your bones can't take
I
it,
am.
kid. All right.
Okay.
So Brad attempts to pull Dusty aside and tell him to leave when Dylan comes into the house crying about the fourth grader that's harassing him. Then Dusty and Griff show Dylan how to handle the fourth grader with some play fighting. Brad initially doesn't want to do so, but then he shares how hard school was for him because he was so bullied. And this inspires Dylan to fight back so that he doesn't end up a wimp like Brad. Oh, God. That scene, I find that scene to be a little interesting because, Brad does the thing where he kind of lies. And he's like, yeah, I did this. And then he's like, oh, I actually didn't do that. I just, I tried to like skate through. And that's what makes Dylan want to fight back. And I'm like, I feel wicked bad for Brad. Like, I feel bad for kids that are getting bullied. So like, this was kind of like a hard to watch scene for me, but it was funny.
Yeah. Pat, what'd you think?
I actually didn't believe him when he was saying that he punched so-and-so in the nose.
Yeah.
I just couldn't imagine it. And what was expected is when he fessed up that it was a lie. That didn't surprise me at all because that's who he is. But the kid's reaction, his son's reaction, when he told him that he didn't stand up for himself at that age, and the kid was, you mean if I don't stand up for myself, I'm going to be a giant wussy like you?
Oh, God.
And I was like, oh my God. I'm sure I butchered the line, but that immediately made him realize that now it's time to learn how to fight.
But I love when fucking Griff switches sides and fucking Brad's like, Griff, I thought you were on my side. Yeah, but when he bitched you down, I had to switch sides. He's yelling bitch at him and stuff. And
Griff is
we're
funny.
gonna get another great payoff here because Brad, it's revealed he's never punched anybody in the face. And eventually he is going to punch Dusty in the face. And it is such an amazing scene. Oh, he lines him up and then beep, like this tiny little sound.
It was like the coyote hitting the stone ledge instead of the roadrunner with his fist. I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? It's like he didn't even know it happened. Did you just
it was so funny.
Knowing that I have to now kick your ass.
All right, go ahead.
Goodness. So Dusty shows his appreciation for Brad by helping with Dylan by suggesting he hook them up with Dr. Francisco, played by Bobby Carnival, who Dusty is friends with, and he is a fertility doctor. At the appointment, Dusty gets to show off his genitals to everyone, and Brad is humiliated when he's told to go jerk off in a treatment room, and he's exposed by a falling window blind to a birthday party full of people.
James and the giant peach.
At work, he learns that Dusty's getting way more money than he makes for his residuals. And when he returns home, Dusty is gathered with family to sit and look at old photos with him of when he and Sarah were still together. Afterwards, he regales the kids with stories about him, the king, kicking the tar out of Brad, the step king. So, Pat, when Griff walks up and is like, I don't really like you, but that's cold, I just die every time. It's so funny.
I was just going to say, that is the best line in the movie. I really don't like you, but that's some cold shit.
Oh, God.
The only thing closer to that line that was just as funny, but it kind of made me gag, was stay inside the cones like ice cream. I just happened to see that scene going by the TV on the movie, and I'm like, stay inside the cones like ice cream. I'm like, who the hell writes that?
Yeah.
The fucking doctor's office is so good, man. This whole scene, Dusty has set this up on purpose, not to get them to have a child. He doesn't think there's any chance Brad will be able to get her pregnant. It's going to cause problems in the house and the relationship. And at the same time, he knows the doctor's going to call him in to show off the unit. And I love when the doctor fucking strains when lifting up his hog. He's like,
he has to move it out of the way. Like he needs a crane.
Physical exertion. And shows physical exertion. And he calls his balls two Patrick Stewarts. Shiny two Patrick Stewart heads. Oh, God, it's so good. I fucking love it.
James
and I laugh
and the
out loud
giant
with
peach.
the giant peach. And she
that
gulps.
Was awesome.
And he looks at
just
him,
gulp?
did you just gulp? Oh, God.
A little bit.
Yeah, and when the curtains fall, hilarious.
Oh
The
man.
doctor talking about how Dusty went around for a second time on the triathlon. Who does that? Um, just endless fucking bullshit, man.
the
Endless
doctor
bullshit.
was awesome. He
Oh,
when he wanted to ask Dusty if he wanted to break his old record, and
Oh,
Dusty
yeah.
grabs a drink cup, and Brad turns and says, "Should I get a cup too? What are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
and
Come
he
on, we're
says,
burning
"Come on."
daylight."
Heard daylight, yeah.
That was
Unbelievable.
absolutely hysterical. He, what's his name? Let me see here. Bobby Cannavale. He also played in both the Ant-Man movies.
Yes,
Oh.
he did.
Yeah, good call.
He
Good
was-
You know,
call.
the
I've
new
got to throw
husband.
those in when I find them.
Throughout the whole movie, though, Dusty is going to say that he's done these like unbelievable things, but he's getting backed up by people that really have no reason to lie. So Dusty is quite a character, as Brad would say.
Quite
Okay,
a
let's keep
Everything
going.
goes his way. Everything goes
Yes,
his way.
It does. So
I
the
mean-
next day, Brad, Sarah, and Dusty return to Dr. Francisco and learn that Brad actually has a chance to get Sarah pregnant. Afterwards, Brad and Dusty have a talk. Brad decides to step up his game to win the kids' approval by decorating the house with Christmas stuff, giving the kids a bunch of presents like a pony for Megan and tickets to the Lakers game since they're Dylan's favorite team. Brad takes everyone to the game but gets Dusty a seat away from them. And luckily, Dusty knows the Lakers coach and even gets him to introduce Dylan to Kobe Bryant. Brad gets upset but starts to flip out when he learns that Megan asked Dusty to go with her to the daddy-daughter dance, leading him to yell in front of everyone else and admit to Sarah that he bought the tickets off a scalper for $18,000.
Oh my
Everyone but
God.
Brad gets to sit courtside. Brad drinks a bunch of beers and wins a chance to make a shot to win the family a vacation. But too drunk, Brad talks into the mic, announces he had sex with Sarah to the whole arena, and then throws the ball and hits a cheerleader in the head. He grabs another ball and hits a kid in a wheelchair. He's
Oh,
taken
God.
out by 4 guys at once. So, Des, I know you had some information about how this scene was shot, so go to it.
Oh my God. Yeah. So they love this scene. So this is actually was shot at a Lakers game during halftime. They said they had about 6.5 minutes to record the entire scene. And in the scene where he hits the cheerleader in the head, that was a stunt woman, but nobody in the arena knew that it was a stunt woman. So the crowd thought that Will Ferrell actually hit a cheerleader in the head with a basketball, but no, that was a stunt woman. The whole Christmas scene is so fucking funny. Oh my God, when the little girl goes berserk over the pony and Will Ferrell is going, "It's a pony, Dusty, it's a pony." And oh my God, it's really, really good. And again, we're finding out that Dusty played basketball with this strength and conditioning coach overseas. So, he's a semi-pro level basketball player on top of every fucking other thing he does. I thought all of this was was great. And I love this scene when he gets drunk, and it's really good. It's all really good.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Is the Christmas scene I thought was a little excessive for Brad to pull off. But obviously he wanted to go way over the top to beat Dusty in the scene. He keeps putting all those presents. I think they're from Brad. Are there any presents from Dusty? I don't see any presents from Dusty. These are all from Brad.
And Dusty actually says, nicely done. Nicely done.
Oh yeah,
right?
he admits he lost that fight. And when he went to the Lakers game, and once again, here is everything going right for Dusty. Dusty is immediately shunned to the other side of the aisle by Brad. He's still got the upper hand. And then it all goes sideways when Dusty sees the conditioning coach for the Lakers, and now the whole family is going down courtside and sitting next to the team. Everyone except for Brad, who paid $18,000 to a scalper for the seats. And when he ordered
Unbelievable.
5 beers, I knew it was going downhill from there. And sometimes when you see enough movies, you can foresee some things that are happening. You knew that nothing good can come from from Brad getting loaded. And I knew he was going to get picked to do that half-court shot. I just knew it. And I didn't see, until the wind-up, I didn't see the cheerleader getting it in the head. And it was twice as funny when he did the do-over and he lofts the ball into the face of the kid in the wheelchair and knocks him in the wheelchair backwards. I almost peed myself. I was laughing so hard. I was laughing when the cheerleader took the shot in the face, and I laughed twice as hard when the kid took it too. I'm like, oh my God, he did it again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Okay.
ridiculous.
So in this movie, something the director did that I thought was really, really good. Like the writing is so the mother could have very easily started to become a villain because she is allowing Dusty to do this stuff to Brad, and she's kind of enabling him a little bit, but at the same time, she keeps saying to him, let's kick this fucking bum out. Let's get him out of here. He shouldn't be in here. He's going to get in your head. He's a manipulator. So, and Dust and Brad is like, trying to do what's best for the children. Like, that's what's important to Brad, is what's important to the children. And I like the way they towed the line with the mother character to where you start to kind of not like her. Like at the Lakers game, she has the argument with Brad, and then goes down and sits with Dusty and the kids. And we're starting to feel that little family vibe. Or when she's on the couch looking at the pictures with Dusty, and you're like, what's she doing? Why is she doing that? But then she kind of identifies what she's doing and says no, So it's always towing the line to where you're saying she's kind of acting inappropriately, but then it always comes back around to the children and the fact that Brad is the one that's kind of the catalyst for keeping Dusty around. So I really like that. I thought that they wrote her character very well.
Yeah, and you also have to keep in mind too that so Sarah and Brad have been married for 8 months. So it's less than a year. And it kind of seemed like she was with Dusty pretty much up until maybe like a few months before she met Brad. Like it doesn't seem like like and it's like, that relationship is still kind of fresh and maybe she shouldn't have run out and gotten married to somebody else, but she was looking for stability and that's what she made the choice that she did. She was looking for stability for her children and she got it because Brad is about as stable as they get, until the Lakers game.
I wish I had Brad in my life.
So I mean,
go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
No, I was just going to say that I just think that, it's very easy to fall back into old patterns. So, he's there and they're looking at the pictures and then I think she's like, okay, wait a second. No. Like, so it's easy to fall back into old patterns and she's, she might fall into the pattern, but she recognizes it and pulls herself back out and realizes what's really important. And I do appreciate that.
Yes.
And I think
specifically after the game where it would have been very easy to let Dusty stay and she kicks him and Griff to the curb and Dusty looks at Griff and goes, you want to hit the red roof in? And Griff goes, yeah, sure.
Is that Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Yeah, there's always some bullshit going on in that house. Fucking great.
Is that Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Yes, it is. I think what happened with Brad's wife is those scenes, it's like she was falling under his spell, his charisma and his confidence. And she catches herself going, whoa, wait a minute. This isn't who I'm. And brings herself back to reality, like you said. But it's like she was falling under his spell, like when they're watching the photos. And his hand is on her shoulder, cuddling with the kids while watching the pictures.
Yeah. We all know she's going to wind up with Brad, but they did a nice job of putting that little layer of doubt into all of our minds. Like, could she possibly be with, you know what I mean? So it was good. It was well written without making her a villain. So keep going.
All right. So Brad packs his stuff when he gets kicked out of the house, leaving Dusty to be the dad, though Sarah kicks him and Griff out and they go to the Red Roof Inn, as Des said. Brad is now living in his office while Dusty takes on parental responsibilities, but it proves too much for Dusty and he decides to bail and skip town. Griff goes to Brad's office and encourages him to return home and make it to Megan's dance. Brad rushes to find Dusty at the airport. Dusty admits he can't be a good parent, but Brad decides that the two need to work together so they can be good dads for Dylan and Megan. They make it to the dance where Sarah is not happy with either of them. The men go to dance with Megan only for her to tell them that Dylan is getting bullied by the fourth graders again, all of whom actually happen to be girls. Dylan punches the main girl in the face and then kicks her in the naughty bits and calls her a bitch. Just as they taught him. So, you know, her dad, played by Bill Burr, gets involved and tries to fight both Dusty and Brad. He punches Dusty and Dusty gets ready to fight back, only to look around at the other girls and decide to have to look around and see all the girls and decides to have a dance off, leading everybody else to start dancing. Dylan ends up dancing with the fourth grader who is picking on him because she actually liked him. So, Pat, the dance off is fantastic. And I love that they made Marky Mark do the white guy shuffle. Like, it was awesome.
Oh, this is without a question. There are movies that you've seen that you don't need to see all of it. You can fast forward to the parts you really want to see. With Top Gun Maverick. I didn't need to see the love scene. I didn't need to see him on the boat. But a lot of this movie will get fast forwarded past just so I can see the scene at the dance. From the moment the kids walk in the door until the very end, it was my absolute favorite scene. I couldn't get and Bill Burr, huge fan of Bill Burr, played his role so perfectly. I can't get enough of that scene. I could watch it again and again and again just to pick up the little nuances you didn't see the last time.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. You know, when Dusty is about to kick Bill Burr's ass, and I'm not sure Bill Burr looks like he can handle himself in this movie. I love it.
Yes, he does.
But when Dusty looks over at his daughter, and the look again, this little actress is very good. She gives you a look that says, "Daddy, don't do this now." Like she's afraid, she's a little embarrassed. And it hits Dusty hard, and he decides that he's not going to do this in front of his child. And this is character growth now. And, you know, that's what I loved about this movie. It had so many layers, so many great supporting actors, so many great characters that I love, from the boss to Bill Burr to the children to Griff. Just, it goes on and on. And again, this child gives us an amazing performance here without saying a word. I believe it 100%. We get the dance competition. It's fucking great. Fucking Ferrell's got his shirt off. But I want to go back to the office because this is another very, very funny scene. So Griff gives the speech and the camera pans back to Brad. And Brad screams, "Griff, come back!" And then it goes over to Thomas Hayden Church and he says, "Brad, he's still in the office." It's so fucking funny.
Oh, I heard the door close, and I thought you were gone. No, man, I just closed the door because it sounded like it was kind of getting personal. Oh, thank you for that.
So good. And then Thomas Hayden Church is trying to get them to redo the whole thing with him leaving, and Griff is just not having it. Griff's like, "I'm not doing that. I don't want any part of that." And we also didn't talk about the airport scene. So great scene. Yeah. Again, you know, this is where Dusty starts to really give into what a great guy Brad is. You know, Brad throws the punch and Dusty's like, "Now I have to whoop your ass." And, you know, Brad says, "Well, go ahead. If you have to do it, do it." And Dusty says, "You would take that beating for those children, wouldn't you?" And Brad says, "Yes, I would." And that's it. Fucking from this moment on in the movie, these guys are friends. They are co-parenting now. Dusty is no longer trying to take the family back. He realizes that it's not for him, even though, you know, spoiler alert, he is going to take on that role of a different family. This is all just great fucking stuff. I'm laughing out loud through the entire thing. Well written. Yeah. Dylan?
There's a lot of karma that comes back in the scenes, and I'm not gonna steal anyone's thunder on the final scene of this movie. But
all right, well, let's get into it. Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh my goodness.
What is that?
Okay. Why don't you put that away, please?
Oh,
Yeah, we don't.
stop that.
All right, that's nasty.
Mark it. Mark it. You got to take that out. Nobody
Yeah,
needs
well,
to
it's
know
a
what
good
you
thing they
wrote.
can't see.
Okay, go
No,
ahead.
the dance scene was the best. And when Will Ferrell seemed to just like open up in this dance scene. Oh, did I forget to tell you? I like to move. And he starts
So
dancing with him and everybody. And it's like the entire violence was gone. And now the crowd gets in on it. And when Dylan bumps into the fourth grader and she turns around with that pout on her face and Dylan just starts dancing, I literally wanted to cheer out loud when she started dancing with him. I'm like, oh my God, the symmetry of this scene at the end of the movie was absolutely perfect.
All of the kid actors nailed it. They were really, really good. And like I said, usually it's a downfall in a movie for me. And Bill Burr was just magical when he starts pointing.
As always.
I didn't get served. You got served.
I know it.
Yeah, just so good. All right, Dylan, go ahead.
All right, so a while later, Brad and Sarah now have a baby of their own. Dusty has built his own home down the street with the residual pay he's gotten and married another woman named Karen, played by Alessandra Ambrosio, whom Sarah's a little intimidated by. Dusty is trying to win Karen's daughter's approval. They receive a visit from Karen's ex, Roger, played by John Cena, who's twice as big as Dusty. Dusty immediately feels what Brad felt when he first saw Dusty. Dusty goes to greet Roger, only to get the cold shoulder, indicating that the cycle is starting all over again.
So good.
Awesome.
So
scene.
good.
There's the symmetry. Dusty ignores Brad when Brad asks Dusty, "Are you Dusty?" Nope, and walks on by him. And the shoe is on the other foot when Dusty looks at John Cena. "You Roger?" Nope. And he walks on by him. And the look on Dusty's face was like, oh shit, that's what it's like.
And what's amazing is John Cena, man, he is so imposing. Like he literally, like through the whole movie, you're looking at Wahlberg and you're thinking, this is a tough guy.
Jacked.
He's fairly big boy. I mean, even though he's not super tall, he looks like he could handle himself. Beefy.
He was beefy.
Good word. Beefy. Very cool, blah, blah, blah. As soon as we see John Cena get off that motorcycle, suddenly Mark Wahlberg looks like Will Ferrell. Like, I'm not buying him as a tough guy anymore. Like, John Cena can pick his fucking teeth with Mark Wahlberg in this scene. He's got a cooler motorcycle.
Bigger.
He's dressed
too.
cooler. A bigger motorcycle. He's dressed cooler. He's just awesome. John Cena chef's kiss on this fucking casting. So good. I love that house is twice as big. I love we're going to get the little montage. So in the beginning of the movie, not montage, I'm sorry. In the beginning of the movie, we get the speak over from Will Ferrell talking about, I'm blah, 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 I'm raising. And then at the end, we're going to get it from Mark Wahlberg. And I love how Mark Wahlberg slides in that he got the same SUV as Will Ferrell, but
a few
it's
more
got
options.
the bells and whistles, a few more options. The house is huge. It's an actual castle. He's actually built himself like a castle.
And he's holding the dog off the balcony as it pees. That was so funny. Well, we ended up keeping Toomer because he didn't get along with Dusty's new puppy. And there's the puppy. He's holding the puppy up and it's peeing off the balcony. I was in tears.
And Toomer was 4.
Toomer was only 5, so we're going to have him for a long, long time.
Oh,
as Toomer is yanking on
his pant leg.
Brad's pant leg.
Yeah. So, listen, guys, I am going to propose that we do Daddy's Home Part 2 for Pat's next podcast. I think it deserves it. I want to know if Pat likes it better. Yeah, and I'm not sure which one is better, to be honest with you. This one is fucking phenomenal. But the second one is also phenomenal. We are going to get a Mel Gibson in this. That is probably one of my favorite Mel Gibsons of all times.
I've been hearing about this for quite a while now. So I'm actually really looking. After seeing the first one for the first time and knowing, I at this point have that movie paused on the entrance to the dance. So I can watch this scene again when this podcast is over, because I really love this scene so much. I can't wait to see the second one.
We get a Bill Burr fucking cameo again in the second one in the auditorium during the kids' play, where he says something to Dusty. And Dusty looks over and he goes, "Shut your mouth!" And he says, "It's fucking funny, dude." We get more.
And
Go ahead.
I need to bring up before we go, because there was a character that we didn't bring up that I laughed my ass off. Squidward Ty. Do you remember Squidward Ty?
No.
He's the one that was instigating Dusty.
Oh yeah. Yes.
He told you. I told you he was going to do it. And you instigator.
Dude,
and you
so
Squidward
good.
Ty, you're the instigator. I'm going to wrap you in the mouth.
Dude, he's such a small character, and he plays it so good. It's
he actually got a listing in the cast. His name is Billy Slaughter, and I'm not kidding you. Just like post office general, his name was Man in Squidward Ty.
Oh, he's
that
so
was
good.
His character name, Man in Squidward Ty.
Yeah, he enhanced that scene. The small lines he had enhanced that scene. It's very good.
He had like three lines in the entire movie, but they were put into a point where he could be the instigator, and you're like, shut the fuck up.
Do you know who he was? He was the all right, so the scene in Back to the Future where Marty steals the wallet back, or he steals the magazine back. I think he stole his wallet.
I think he stole his wallet. And he says it like 5 times in a matter of 3 minutes. I think he stole his wallet.
Same exact thing. Like
Same
almost
guy
the same part.
That was playing the instigator in Squidward Ty. That doesn't.
But it wasn't the same guy, was it? Is it the same guy?
Isn't that what you just said?
No.
Isn't that what you just said?
It's the same type of character.
Okay, same type of character. Okay, Jesus, I thought you were saying it was the same guy.
Could have been the same guy.
I'm like, why is he pulling this out of
left
left
field? There's a chance
no
that's
chance.
the same guy. There is a
40
chance.
years later? No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, well, he's a child in that one. Okay. Let's go to the recasting
it's the
couch.
Same guy. I'm ready.
Right, Pat, you're fired. You're fired. Is that Mark Wahlberg singing? Is that Mark Wahlberg singing? He said,
"Dude, that's your intro. That's your intro. Is that Mark Wahlberg singing? Are you kidding me?
Shit.
You're fired.
Okay.
That's your intro.
It's not. In fact, I'm gonna cut what you just said.
You just got an intro.
Okay.
Okay, maybe that's the intro.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Okay. So
Right,
recasting couch. I am going to recast Mark Wahlberg and replace him with a young Ben Affleck. Yes.
Okay. I can live with that.
What, you remember what a prick Affleck was in Mallrats? Perfect, Dusty.
In the back of a Volkswagen?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Delyn?
I would recast Will Ferrell and I'd replace him with a slightly younger Jim Carrey.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I can see that.
You can see it.
Pat,
Like we're talking.
You know what's hard about this?
What?
What is hard about this, Des?
What's hard about this is it's a perfectly cast movie. This is a perfectly cast movie, so it's hard to imagine anybody else in any of these roles.
Yeah,
that is true. But if you take like not as far back as like Cable Guy, a little bit, maybe like Eternal Sunshine, Jim Carrey age, and put him in this role, I think it would be good.
Now, you know who works in this role is what's his face from Cable Guy, the guy that played against Jim Carrey in Cable Guy. Matthew Broderick. There's your fucking Brad. I don't know.
Okay.
Pat.
Actually, I don't remember his name.
Okay, good.
Who?
So
Shut the hell up.
Excellent.
Prick.
Really professional.
Wow. Okay.
The actor who played opposite Woody Harrelson in Kingpin.
Oh,
you don't even know, do you?
Randy Quaid?
Randy Quaid?
No, not Randy Quaid. That's Day After Tomorrow. I think it's a Quaid brother, though. Oh, Randy Quaid.
Oh.
Either way,
yeah,
that's who,
Randy Quaid.
Yeah, Randy Quaid. That's who I would put in place of Will Ferrell.
That's terrible. All right,
awful. Well, here's my alternate.
Why don't we put Rutger Hauer in?
Yeah. Shut the hell up. Then how about we go with a better standard? We're gonna replace. Let me see. What's his damn name?
Why don't we put Arnold Schwarzenegger in for Will Ferrell?
No, we're gonna replace Hannibal Buress with Eddie Murphy.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I go with that.
I mean, why not?
It's
A
fine.
young Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
Moving
this
on.
is a tough one to recast. Tough one to recast. I don't really like
Yeah, no, the
anybody's
casting
choices. I
is
think they
done
all
so
suck.
well. Yeah, it's done
Yeah.
so well. You can't really recast it.
All right. Let's go for some final thoughts here. This fucking movie is great. It's cast perfectly. It's written perfectly. It's, you know, I love comedies. Comedy's my thing, but I rarely find myself laughing out loud during a comedy, like actually literally sitting there laughing out loud. I laughed throughout the entire thing. We're going to have another meeting before the next podcast because nobody touched their mute button, one, myself included.
I did,
Huh?
and so did Pat.
Dude, I
I
touched
saw
my
that.
mute.
She just had a sip of coffee and I heard her put that tin coffee mug down on the table.
Okay.
I-
That is the
Oh, okay.
one time I forgot to mute
Okay.
it amongst the 24
No,
from this
no, no.
cough or that
No.
sound.
No, Delin, what the fuck? You just coughed. You didn't hit your fucking mute button.
It was a sudden cough.
Oh,
Listen,
You're all fucking fired.
Listen, you're Captain Paper Russell. You're over there like building a
So, hang
fucking
on.
nest like a squirrel.
Let me find my score.
Why don't you just play with the cat toy for Christ's sake?
Okay. So
Ay,
Okay.
let me
yeah,
just
can
give
we
you my
move on?
let me just give you my rewatch score. So
Please.
my
Please
rewatch
do.
score for Daddy's Home is 5. It's a perfect movie. I mean, there's nothing I would change. I love every single second of this movie. The casting, right down to Toomer, is fucking the balls. This movie kicks ass. It's a perfect movie. And not only is it a perfect movie, I think it's the top of the mountain of the perfect movies that we have scored. So out of all the perfect movies we've got, I think there's like what, 4 or 5s? 3 or 4 or 5s?
Yeah, something like
Delin?
that.
Okay, great.
Something like
Thank you
that.
for being so specific. This is my favorite out of all of them. So, she's flipping me off. Such a vulgar
Display.
hand gesture from such
Wow.
a pristine podcaster. Okay,
You're
And
a
yet
hot
so
mess.
well
your-
deserved.
Yeah, it's not. Pat, what's your
So
score?
well deserved. I'm going to surprise you and give it a 5.
It's a 5.
Oh.
There's this movie
Yeah.
I'd never seen it before, and I've already watched it like 4 times in the last 2 days, and I'm getting ready to
Fucking
watch my
great.
favorite scene again as soon as I'm not looking at your stupid ass face.
Like this movie kicks like this movie kicks the shit out of like Dodgeball, which I love.
Yeah.
It's just really good. Delin, go ahead.
All right, so I'm the outlier. I'm not gonna go with a 5
Oh,
here.
this just proves you know nothing about movies after the Neighbors and this.
How about I just hit the end podcast button and F you? I am allowed to
fuck.
have my own opinion, and you're not allowed to fucking do that. How about that?
Your opinion is
Yeah, but he's
shit.
a dickhead, so you have to expect it.
I can't fucking believe this isn't gonna get a 5. Go ahead, let's hear your fucking excuse, your reasoning for this.
Wow.
I don't need to reason anything. This is the score I'm giving
Go ahead.
it. It's getting a
What is it?
4.368.
So there.
That's what it's getting.
316? How are you taking 67% off this movie of a point? I want to know. Explain yourself.
I'm not
Explain
explaining
yourself where those
shit.
points.
I'm not explaining
Explain
shit.
where those points
I'm not
are coming
explaining
off.
shit.
Explain
I'm not
where those
explaining.
points are
That's
coming
all,
off.
folks.
I'm not
No,
explaining.
explain. No,
I'm not
just explain to the
explaining.
viewers. Explain to the viewers where it gets
I
gamed.
don't like the scene with them fucking teaching the kid how to fight. I don't like the fucking kid punching the girl in the face. I don't like it. So I'm taking a couple points off.
Oh,
Slivers of
sorry.
points.
Sorry. Okay, so read me off the 5 perfect movies, please, or the perfect movies on the list.
Yes,
Can I
master.
first bring up one thing?
No. So what are the perfect movies on the list?
Beverly Hills Cop,
Okay.
Galaxy Quest,
Yep.
Lethal Weapon 4,
Yep.
The Thing.
Okay, so this is way better than The Thing. This is this is right there.
It is not
A
way
and
better
B.
than The Thing. It is not way better than The
fuck
Thing. It is
it.
not
It
way
is
better
way-
than The Thing.
Dude, it's way better
No.
than The Thing.
No, it's
so
not.
this is all right. So Galaxy Quest and this movie are A and B. They're both great. I laugh out loud at both. The characters, the casting, everything's perfect. This is way better. This is better than Beverly Hills Cop as a comedy. As a comedy.
No, I disagree.
You laugh more during Beverly Hills Cop?
I found a lot of Beverly Hills Cop funnier than what was in
Okay.
this.
Yeah, I did.
Listen,
but I
you know
thought
what?
Beverly
The thing
Hills
is
Cop
that
was a
you
better
have
movie.
3 people. Listen, the thing is you have 3 people on this show with you, and we all have our own opinions, and everybody's opinion is not your opinion. If you wanted to just do Dez's podcast
well,
and just do it
my
yourself
opinion-
and just
my-
score it with your score,
my
that's your
opinion-
business.
Yeah, my opinion counts. My opinion is you're wrong. So I like that. I like that perfect movie list, though, except for The Thing, which I did score a perfect 5, but I think
The
in
Thing is a perfect
retrospect,
movie. It's not a comedy though, but it's a perfect movie. You just because it's not a comedy doesn't mean it's not a perfect movie. It's a fucking fantastic movie. It's literally
this
one of the
movie
best movies
belongs
I've
on
ever
that
seen.
perfect movie list. This movie belongs on that perfect
No, it
movie
does
list.
not. No, it does not.
Yes, it does. Okay.
No, it does not.
Okay. Okay.
Can we put
Look
this
at
one in the
Lynn's face.
can?
Look at how angry she is. Pat, look at how angry she's trying to smile now.
You
She's
know what?
trying to smile now.
You're,
You know
you're
what?
such a
This
freaking
is
asshole. This is why I don't want to do the podcast with you. You suck.
That's the intro.
Des.
That's the intro. That's the intro. Yeah.
Okay, I have to agree. That's pretty good. Des,
That's why I don't want
can
to
only-
do the podcast. You suck.
That's gonna be a great intro. I can't wait to hear it.
Oh shit.
Des, I have to say this. I have sympathy
Ooh.
because I have a feeling that for the rest of this day, you are going to be seriously in a shitload of trouble.
No, because she's going out to dinner with her friends, so she'll forget
Doesn't mean
about
the
all this
day's
by the
over
time
when
she
she's
gets
gone.
home.
You have no
Okay.
idea what she's trained the cat to do
Okay.
for her.
Okay. All right. So let's get these scores. So Delyn, will you calculate those scores and tell us
Yes.
where Daddy's Home falls on the hey, did you ever see that movie charts?
It
Didn't
is
you already
a
do that?
4. No,
No.
4.789333333, which puts it at number 5. Which
Number
puts
5.
it.
All right. Oh. Go ahead. Puts it where? Puts it where?
I don't even want to do this. You just make it. You're making it not fun. You're being a
All right.
dick.
I don't care. Okay. Puts it where?
It puts it after RoboCop and above Sinister.
Oh God. Oh God. Okay. So it puts it above RoboCop. No, below RoboCop.
Below.
Below RoboCop and above Sinister is at number 5. RoboCop is 4. Sinister is 6.
Sinister is 6.
Yes.
Oh God, and RoboCop. All right. Well, this movie is way better than both of those movies. Way, way, way better.
It's
But
different.
okay.
It doesn't mean it's better or not better. It's different.
Dude, you
Dude.
get so butt chapped. And you
Dude,
make
if-
No,
yes,
look
you
who's talking about
dick.
being butt chapped. You are butt chapped. You're Captain Butt Chapped. You have literally spent the past 10 minutes freaking out that I didn't give it a 5. You're Captain Butt Chapped. You're the one with a fucking problem. Instead of just letting people score it, they want to score it. You want to dictate the scores. F you.
I'm putting a pin in this fucking podcast before Delyn fucking shits her diaper and quits.
Me.
I just want, before you start
You're the one
recording,
in the diaper.
Okay. So that's it. As always, it's fun watching movies from different sides of the house with you, Delyn. Pat, nice job today. I'm glad you enjoyed the movie. We will be back next week with a new co-host joining the show. We are going to have Tony 2.0 on the show next week. This is Mickey's husband, actually. And he is the podcaster with more patience than God because Mickey tortures him very much the way I torture Delyn. Tony says no, and he means it. Something you need to know about him. And yeah, we're going to be doing Tombstone. We're going to be doing Tombstone. So I'm looking forward to that.
I am officially disappointed I'm not part of that.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's just no space for you on that. It's going to be a 4-person pod. And then we'll be back the following week with Daddy's Home 2. Yes? Can we pencil that in?
I am down for it if you don't cry into the breast milk through the whole thing.
Oh
Pat?
my God.
You're
I'm
up?
there, man. I'm
Okay.
there.
All right, cool. All right. So in exactly 21 minutes, I am recording the Breaking Vinyl podcast where we will be breaking down David Lee Roth's David Lee Roth's Eat 'em and Smile.
Such a hot mess.
I know.
Piping
Okay.
hot mess.
All right, so Dylan, are we friends again?
You're a dumpster
Okay.
fire, but yeah.
I want to see a picture of him with homeless and poop on his head next time.
Okay. All right, everybody. So until next time, I just have one question. Oh yeah, one more thing. Will you fucking people please leave some 5-star reviews? Fuck,
Oh,
man.
Jesus.
Fucking pissing
Yeah,
me
that'll
off.
help. Yeah, that'll
Yeah,
help.
well,
That'll help. They
all right,
can't wait to
okay.
do it now.
Okay. Till next time, I have one fucking have you seen the fucking movie or not? Bye.